Yamaya ho ako yo yamaya.
When I first started researching the global water crisis, when I first got into this work, the statistic was that every 15 seconds a child dies from a waterborne illness. And today, that number is every 21 seconds a child dies from a waterborne illness, which is still unacceptable, but we're getting better. The people that we see most affected by the water crisis are women and children. Children are pretty much completely precluded from getting an education if they don't have access to clean water at the school. Girls don't at all. Once girls hit puberty and there's no clean water at the school and there's no sanitation and hygiene, they don't go to school anymore. And so this really affects the cycle of poverty and disease and gender inequality, which holds a community back altogether from development. Women are highly vulnerable to rape because they have to walk such long distances by themselves, oftentimes at dark because it takes that long. And so it completely affects unwanted pregnancy, disruptions in family. Women don't get to get an education or start a career or start commerce, and the children aren't getting an education. So it's the beautiful thing that happens when clean water is available in a community and it's executed properly and with the right kind of community training, that women in a matter of months can get a new life and they can care for their family and they can be mothers. Then they begin to learn from other women, and they're beaming with pride because they're sending their kids to school. And they know that their kid has a future, where before there was just no hope for that. I remember I was 2 years into this work when I had my daughter, and I remember being up one night at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and nursing her, and my team was in Kenya at the time, and I was overcome with gratitude and sorrow, and I cried for probably an hour because I was so grateful that I was healthy and I was able to provide health for my daughter, and that she would never be without basic necessities that would keep her healthy and give her opportunities. And I couldn't fathom what it must feel like to be a mother and not be able to do that, simply because there's no water. So if I wasn't already passionate at that time, it really solidified it for me. And so it deepened my feelings for this work, being a mother, and knowing now that I'm a part of changing other mothers' lives and the lives of their children. WellAware is an organization that I started to address water contamination and scarcity in Africa. I was not always in this field of work. I had a legal career. I graduated from law school, but I met a friend and she asked me if I would help raise money to replace some of the cattle and the goats that were dying in her father's village in Kenya. And I felt compelled to help. But what I thought would be a better solution at the time would be to provide a plentiful and clean source of water. So we raised some money and we flew to Kenya and we drilled a water well. And that moment on the ground in Kenya, when we first saw water coming out of the borehole, was a life-changing moment for me. I witnessed and I felt the incredible impact and transformation that would happen now in that community because they had a source of clean water, where before they had none. And the women had to walk miles every day carrying the jerry cans full of water that weigh 40 pounds each, just so that their family could survive. I was on the ground when we were waiting for the pump test results, and I was holding this little girl who had been following me around the whole time on the drill site for the past 2 days. And she had been asking me that whole time for water, and she said, Maji, Maji. She really wanted to drink some of the water that we had in our van. But when they finally said at the pump test that the water was safe to drink, we took one of the empty water bottles and I filled it up for her. And she grabbed the water bottle and I grabbed her and I held her while she drank the entire large bottle of water in what seemed like one swallow. And I felt her relief and I felt her gratitude for that. And I did realize at that moment that her life would be different because of such a simple thing. Every single one of these water projects is close to my heart, but there are a few that do stand out because we've had a high impact or we've invested a lot of time there, made lots of good friends there. Some of my favorite projects come from one particular region in Kenya. What we are seeing in that area where we've been invited to work is that where we're putting in a nice, big, high-yielding, sustainable water system, there are schools being built. In one of these areas in Daba, the girls in this region are going to the 8th grade for the first time ever in the history of the entire region. And there are people putting up permanent domiciles, and women are getting an education. The disease rate has plummeted, the education rate skyrocketed. So these are transformations that are happening literally over a year to 3 years. We go into one of these areas 3 years later and it just looks like a different place. If you would like to help our work and you know another nonprofit or you're a part of one who needs help with their water infrastructure, we hope that you'll reach out to us. I would love to meet anybody who is looking for assistance to help carry out their clean water work properly. We invite you to check out our website, it's wellawareworld.org, and learn more about our work. You can make a donation and you can also reach out to us and let us know if you want to volunteer or if you would like to know more. We also invite you to participate with us on social media. That's where we gain most of our reach, and share with your friends and talk about it and tell your neighbors.